Hey y'all, hey, I'm your girl, Courtney Ewing, certified hair loss practitioner and trichologist. I study the hair and scalp and different scalp disorders. Welcome to Hair Talk Tuesday, where we talk about all things hair. I have to give you a round of applause because your hair health means a lot to you, and that means a lot to me. Today's topic, and this is a pre-recorded video. Next week I should be live, but we'll see. So this is a pre-recorded. Still, please, any comments, any questions that you have, drop them down below and we'll hit that in part 2. If there are enough questions, so that's contingent. If there's enough questions, I'll do a part 2. If not, we're going to go on to my next topic, which is like all the alopecias that affect the hairline. So, good to know information before you DIY microlocs. I think this is a really good topic. There are so many people getting microlocs. It's just become a thing. And I do believe you need to educate yourself before doing so. And that coming out of my mouth, it seems like there's not enough education that you can get when you're doing a DIY. I'm going to tell you my story. So those of you who know, I did my own microlocs. I was scheduled to get them done. Something happened. I'm not really sure. I didn't really care for it. But I also did not trust myself traveling every 6 to 7 weeks for a retie. So what I did, I just took in information and thought about it. Like, this is a huge commitment. If you're going in with the mindset of, can I take these down? If you're thinking anywhere about taking them out, you can do it, but you just might as well not do it because I don't think you're fully committed yet and they're not meant to be taken down. So, yes, I did my own off top. I always say this. I always talk like my parting game is not there. It's non-existent. So I knew off top grid wasn't going to be gridding, but I was okay with that. I'm a type of person that I don't too much care for the grid. And some people say when folks say that, yeah, you do, or you wouldn't have got microlocs. I don't understand that because I honestly really do not care for the grid. As long as I got my middle part, my 2 side parts in case I want to boom, hit it over here and then boom, hit it over there. Got my part down the middle where this way, half up, half down. And I could finagle my way into 2.2. As long as I got those, I'm gravy, baby. So, and that's just my take on that. The grid thing wasn't really a big deal for me. So that was off top. I knew that wasn't going to be what we see. Also, see a loctician. Like, that is the best advice that I can give you. See somebody who is true to this, not new to this. See somebody who is well informed so you understand what all goes into it. Because just videos and stuff, that's not enough. Like, yes, I do believe this video is going to be helpful for some, but at the same time, it's totally different from talking to someone who does this day in, day out, seeing all the issues, know how to fix them, know what's going on if this happens. So that's my first one. Like, really understand what it is that you're going to be committing to and what it is. Braiding and banding. So that's when, at first I thought, oh, you have to do that every night. And it got to the point, I'm not doing that every night. That's when you take sections and you braid them up and then you get a rubber band or a ponytail holder or something where you could tuck the ends up and band them. So that's braiding and banding. So that is meant for when you shampoo, especially when you just get them. I still do it because my locks aren't fully matured yet. And I started with braids. Understand this. If you're starting with braids, it's going to take a hell of a lot longer to lock up. Understand that, because I ain't understand that. I ain't know that. That's something that I did not know at all. If you're starting with the 2-strand twist, yes, you have more slippage and and unraveling, but your hair is going to lock up quicker. So I just thought I'd add that in. So where I messed up is the braiding and banding. I do it, and I do it every time. I don't miss it. But my braids were too tight. So I'm thinking you have to braid them and just make sure like that stuff does not come unraveled. It cannot be loose. That was my mindset. And I felt it on my hairline. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I try to like pull braids out, but I don't want them out of the braid. You get what I'm saying? So there lies the issue for me. So I have a few thinning on my hairline. And my hairline was already struggling before after I had baby boy. And I said, I'm going to grow my edges back in. And then I was going to start the microlocs because I want to start them immediately. But no, I said I need to let them come in. So they did come in because, I'm a trichologist. I grow hair. It's just what I do. But you can't pull on your edges like that tight. And I need to take my own advice. I've posted videos talking about this. But when I tell you the lock game is just so different, it just takes some getting used to. It honestly just takes some getting used to. So my braid and banding was too tight. So you do not have to braid your hair tight. Loose at the root. And then just make sure it's just like a formed braid and tucked, so they don't tangle or anything like that. And people talk about bunching. I don't think I've had that issue, but I hear not braiding and banding can lead to that. So that's my tip on the braiding and banding. Also, too much product will give you buildup. I use Blooming Breeze or rose water for the hydration. That's what I use, and I use that most of the time. That's what I'm using, the rose water or Blooming Breeze. My oil, I do use the Glory Grow Extra Strength. I use this probably once a week, not every day. Again, these are locks. You don't want to have too much product on your scalp because then you're going to have buildup. Buildup leads to suffocation. Suffocation leads to thinning, and you don't want that. And then I do use my Flourishing Hair Cream. I use this once or twice a month, and I don't use a lot in one setting, and I don't put it at the top of my head. I put it at the ends. So yeah. Also, where I messed up too, I was thinking you can only braid your hair. I mean, you can only shampoo your hair right before your retie. My scalp does not like that. Here I am coming in from my loose leaf hair, shampooing every week, every other week, mostly every week, to like nothing for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, nothing. My scalp, when I talk about irritation, I know I can't. So, and that was the hardest thing for me. I don't know if y'all remember the live I did. I was also on TikTok that time, but I was talking about locks. Like, I don't know. All I can tell you is what I've learned on my journey. Locks, this is not my lane. So I don't, unless you're dealing with like a hair loss, and you have locks, then I can do that. And I mean like alopecia, not you doing something improper, because it's not my lane. And I'm very comfortable within my lane. I ease out of my lane. I'm not so confident. So I think it's just important for us to all just be true to ourselves. If you don't know, say you don't know, because there's nothing wrong with that. And somebody would appreciate you saying you don't know versus you making up some stuff. And then now here they are to deal with the repercussions of you thinking you knew something. Next, also, if you're not really going to be into it with your hair when it comes to reties, if you're not going to like do it, really do it, don't do it yourself. Get a loctician to do it. You just might have to travel, boo boo. It just might be it. Because I do my own reties. Currently, I did find somebody who's going to do my retie this Friday. Yeah, I think she could make it do what it do too. So next week, I'm going to record our session. Of course, not the entire thing. And I'm going to put you onto her information for anybody who wants to get Microlocs in the Des Moines area, or if you're in Iowa and don't mind traveling to Des Moines. This information needs to be out here for those, so you're not going to end up like me. When it comes to that rotation, your rotation has to rotation. And if your hair type doesn't agree with that rotation, it shows. So that was another one of my issues. I was doing the 2-point rotation. For one, it's easier. And a lot of people do it and they don't have no issues. But you have to remember, everybody's hair is different. So with me doing the 2-point rotation, it's a no for my hair. And so I did have a consultation, 2 different consultations, and that's what it was. They both said the same thing. The rotation is not, I guess, adequate for my hair type. So they were like, you need to do the 4-point rotation. That makes sense. I wanted to do the 4-point rotation. I thought I can do the 4-point rotation. But when it comes to the back and the top of your hair, when you are retying yourself and you're in the mirror and everything is backwards, you lose 5 days. It's just the patience that you would need to have, and you really need to have that know-how. If you start the rotation and then you go backwards, you're messed up. If you forget where you were at in your rotation and you hit that one side twice, you're messed up. That had a lot to do with my issue, the wrong rotation for my hair, and then the braiding and banding too tight. Also, with the shampooing, you can shampoo twice a month. So I currently shampoo twice a month. My scalp cannot take that weeks and weeks and weeks without a wash. I don't know how y'all do that. And now with traditional locks, those are bigger locks. They hold more water. I'm not sure if you can do that with traditional locks. I don't have traditional locks, and so my experience with them is not there. So I can see how you can easily get mildew and mold in your locks if you're shampooing often and it stays wet like that, because those locks are going to hold more water. So, and y'all, I'm looking at my notes because y'all already know. We talked about the braid and band. We talked about the not too much product. You don't want too much product. And I'm not bashing Microlocs. This is the best hairstyle for my hair, hands down. I actually wish I did it sooner. It's low maintenance. If I wake up and I'm running late, then overslept, y'all, it's nothing to take the scarf off and hit it with a shake, shake, shake. I can hit it with the spray when I get back. It is very low maintenance. Your hair will grow. You just have to handle it properly. So I'm pretty sure I have holes in my locks due to my rotation. My patience is just not there. So sometimes I'm just like, I'm just going. I don't care. Retie. You see the parts. And that is not the best way to go about it. So I'm really excited for Friday. I'm really excited to share this lady's information. And so, yeah, if you do have questions, and it doesn't have to pertain to this topic, if you have any questions pertaining to your hair or your scalp, if it has to do with locks, I can only tell you what I've experienced. Not my lane. I can try my best if I know. If not, I might have to push you over to old girl. You know, she's in the lane. This is her lane. But anything pertaining to like loose leaf hair, damage, hair loss is my jam. But yeah, with hair loss comes hair growth. It just kind of goes hand in hand. If you have anything, drop it in the comments. If there are enough questions on Microlocs, I would do a part 2 and answering those questions to the best of my ability. If not, next week's topic will be about alopecia along the hairline. A lot of people think like, oh, I pulled my hair too tight, I'm losing my edges, or whatever reason, edges are leaving. And it's not just because traction alopecia. It's not just because wigs. It's not just because hormonal imbalances. Those are things that could affect this line, but there's other alopecias like frontal fibrosing alopecia, plano lichen pilaris alopecia. Those things, they target the hairline as well. And if you are dealing with something like that, it's important to know, because then the time frame of reversing it is much different and you're kind of more prepared for what you need to do. For an example, if somebody has traction alopecia, if they just stop pulling on their hair, use clean products, have a hair care regimen, their hair is going to grow back at a more rapid rate than someone who has frontal fibrosing or plano lichen pilaris or lichen pilaris. One of those things, you can have 5 to 6 years before you start seeing something. Those are more crucial alopecias or hair loss categories. So I think it's important to just kind of know the difference. They could all kind of look alike, may feel a little different, but if you know, oh, I may be dealing with this, it's going to take some time, then maybe you can just keep going with your regimen. You just have to keep going versus, oh, I'm not seeing anything, so I just give up. I'm just done. You might need to know you need to keep going. So, yes. Thank you, everybody, for joining. And I meant to say it in the beginning. I keep hitting it at the end. If you're new, welcome. If you are here, been here, in and out of here, what's up? So until next time.